Hello, I'm Danny,
And I'm Jake.
and this is Marvel Talk. Hello everybody, welcome back to a fantastic episode of Marvel Talk. We're bringing you a special one today, as the day we're recording this is actually the anniversary for the animated Transformers movie.
Yes, it is. My copy of the Transformers animated movie on 4K Steelbook is on its way. I think it's getting shipped out tomorrow. So hopefully it comes in quick because I'm excited to check it out again in a beautiful 4K. It's going to be amazing. Ooh.
Of course, I actually believe it was yesterday as well. On the 7th was it's been 5 years since the Fantastic Four film.
Good anniversaries all around. Josh Trank, I wish we could fix your movie, man.
Excuse me, 6 years, because it came out in 2015.
Damn, 6 years. That's crazy. Boy, it's a good thing, what's-his-face got into Black Panther, huh?
Heck yeah, man. So we're going to be talking about those, but before we dive in, there was some news and other things to talk about. First things first, man, Bad Batch is ending with one more episode coming up.
Yes.
You've been keeping up with it, Jake. What's going on with that show?
Yeah, well, I just started really diving into it this past week. I just got an itch to watch some Star Warsy content, and Bad Batch fits that niche quite well. Definitely, I'd put it around the same quality level as, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7, all the Mandalorian stuff. This is right there with that stuff. It's just Dave Filoni heading up just good Star Wars stuff. I love all the Bad Batch characters. I liked them when they introduced them in that final season of Clone Wars, and getting to see them do these extra adventures is pretty neat. The first few episodes, there's a little girl character that's in it, and she's kind of okay, but she grows on you. She gets better as the show goes. Very Ahsoka in that way. And it's pretty cool because it's all set during the post Order 66 world, right after Order 66 happens. So it's pretty neat watching the crack commando unit of clone troopers having to figure out how to live in a post Clone Wars society.
I want to check it out, but I should probably watch or finish the other shows, right?
At least watch Clone Wars Season 7. Maybe a little bit of Mandalorian, because there's a character that shows up in this that's in Mandalorian Season 2. Ming-Na Wen's character.
Oh, okay.
Fennec Shand. She shows up in this show as a bounty hunter.
Does she do the voice acting?
Yeah, she does, actually. It's Ming-Na Wen doing the voice acting.
Nice.
They bring back a whole bunch of other older characters and stuff throughout the show so far. I'm about halfway through the season, and they just had a pretty big 3-episode kind of arc happening through these episodes, which is cool. They weren't labeled like that at all, but there was just a very continuous chain of events. So very in keeping with the storytelling of Clone Wars. So if you haven't watched it yet out there, people, I recommend it. I think it's pretty good.
And what is it, 10 episodes or so?
I think it's going to be 16 at the end of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, so pretty substantial. Yeah, and episode 1 is an hour and 10 minutes. It's a nice big meaty premiere episode where you get to see a whole bunch of different characters, both from Clone Wars and then in the original trilogy. There's some people who pop up in both.
Nice. Yeah, I'd be down to check that out whenever I have the time to.
Lots of people die in it, not main characters, but background people. Holy moly, they shoot a lot of people. And there is an episode where they bring back the 2 most boring characters of Clone Wars Season 7, which are the 2 Collector sisters or whatever. They come back for an episode, and their episode's kind of whatever. That so far has been my least favorite episode, just because I felt like it was kind of yet another episode that was sort of useless. But, it happens. They gotta have fillers here and there.
You just have to have that so that way we can get the really good stuff at the end, too.
Exactly. And it looks like it's going to shape up to be a pretty solid ending. I'm pretty excited for where the story of the season's going.
So with that, let's jump into some of this news real quick before we dive in. We've been getting more set photos for The Flash, and it's with our boy, Batflick.
Batfleck, he's back. He's got a cool motorcycle. It's got a big old wheel in the front. I don't know exactly how that's gonna. They gotta CG it, right? Like when it's in the movie, a little bit,
probably
like to clean up that front wheel. Yeah, but it's pretty cool though. I dig it. It's a cool design. I like the suit design. I like that it's sort of more blue. There's like 2 weird set photos with Ezra Miller. There's like the first one that dropped that has him with like a body double of himself. Or did we talk about that last episode?
We talked about that one, but there was the other one where we actually get a look at his suit.
Oh, that's right. He's on a big green screen where you get a first look at the outfit, and I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, super clean, really.
Very comic booky. It gives me vibes of some of the earlier season Flash suits from the TV show. There was a report from that guy who released that set photo. Henry Cavill's Superman is filmed some scenes with Ben Affleck's Batman in that part.
It'd be cool if it was in Michael Keaton's universe, like it's that Batman, and they can have a conversation or something. Or it could be just something in the first act of the film.
Yeah, I feel like it might be a first act of the movie type of deal. Either way, it'll be cool to see Henry Cavill come back for at least a second.
I don't know why I got confused. Shazam and Fury of the Gods.
Freddy gets the kiss. I don't know who that character is supposed to be that girl's playing, though. I don't understand.
I was thinking maybe it's a character that's involved with the antagonist. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe there's like a group of gods.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. Or what if she ends up being a villain?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. And it's also Freddy as Freddy, not in his hero form.
Oh, okay, I'm watching the whole clip right now, and it's like she kisses him, and then he walks away, and Shazam's in the full costume right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so is that the wizard in the brown outfit?
Well, yeah, there was other set photos with him there, and he is wearing a brown outfit in those set photos.
Oh, snap. Now I'm really curious about what's happening in this scene.
Yeah, I wonder what's up with that, because he's still dead, right?
Unless he's got like the weird omnipotence thing and he just doesn't die.
He's on the side of the set, so he's not in that scene, but he'll probably interact with Zachary Levi and whoever this other character is, right? Oh, there's other set photos here, too, with the other kids, with Mary and Pedro, and he's there as well.
Maybe he has some way to come back.
Oh, yeah, Black Adam news, we got some of that as well, with the addition of the original Atom to come in the film.
Yes. Yeah, Noah Centineo. He's going to be in the original costume.
And the final thing, I guess, for DC is we got the cast for the Blue Beetle for the HBO Max movie.
Yeah, it's going to be the guy from what's it called?
Oh, from Cobra Kai.
Yeah, from Cobra Kai. That's why when I posted that, I was like, that's just perfect casting right there. That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty good casting, I gotta say.
I'm pretty stoked for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen a whole lot of Cobra Kai, but I've seen some scenes with him in there, and yeah, he does a good job.
I went back through like some old news stuff about this Blue Beetle movie, and I'm a little sad that we're not getting Booster Gold in it. Because Booster Gold was originally supposed to be in this movie, but then I guess it got reworked to specifically be about Blue Beetle, which, cool. Should have him in the sequel, though. Do him in the sequel.
Well, I don't know anything about the comic stuff with Blue Beetle. I only know through Young Justice. Yeah, I would hope for, if they do a sequel, that they could bring him in there. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
So I wonder if we're going to have the original in here as well, and then kind of pass it on.
Oh, that would be pretty neat. Like maybe he meets the original scientist guy who made the Blue Beetle stuff, or found the Blue Beetle. I think it's supposed to be like an alien artifact.
Yeah, it's sort of like this sentient thing that gives him armor.
Reading about the guy making it and stuff, he sounds like he's pretty passionate about the character. So I think we got a good person behind the movie.
And with that pretty much wraps up DC. Other than the last thing to say is the Suicide Squad is out.
Yes.
And I haven't seen it yet.
Neither have I. I have not made it into the theater to check it out. But soon. Yeah. Very soon.
Yes, yeah, same for me. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, so I'm excited to check it out and see what we got going on. Next episode, we'll be back soon to talk about that, for sure.
Yep, we'll have, I have a feeling we'll have some thoughts to say about it.
Mm-hmm. And so with that, let's go ahead and move on to Marvel, and the first thing we gotta talk about, man, is the new trailer for Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Yes! It looks so... Carnage looks Just absolutely amazing, man. I can't. They nailed it. He looks so good. Legitimately scary. Like he's shoving like a tube down a dude's throat or whatever. And I'm like, this is going to be gross and weird and cool. I'm really excited. It looks so good.
Yeah, it looks really good. I am, like, we were already hyped, of course, but then after seeing this, like, I cannot wait to see this movie. Movie of the year right here for comic book stuff.
I think it's going to be pretty high up there, man. This is looking peak comic booky kind of stuff. I'm way into it.
Of course, super glad they're still keeping that early 2000s vibe with this movie.
All the colors and everything are still just spot on.
Carnage, just super terrifying. Just seeing him transform into him and how different it is from how Eddie transformed into Venom. It's like, oh, wow. You could tell, like, this is a different type of symbiote going on here.
And I love that Carnage's origin is just like the comics. It's because he gets infected by part of the symbiote from Venom. And that's what creates Carnage from Cassidy, from Cletus Cassidy.
Right.
Oh, so good, man. It's so good.
So I think what they're doing with the movie with Carnage is that, yeah, he does get it through Eddie, but then when he gets sent to death, right, with the, I forget how it's called, but it's like the
lethal injection.
Yeah, lethal injection, that does something to whatever's in Eddie. Not in Eddie, but in Cassie, and that's what creates the red symbiote.
Whoa, it's going to be good stuff. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and again, his design is really, really good, straight out of the comics. We didn't talk about it. I think it was like a few weeks ago. There was some statues of Venom and Carnage to promote the movie.
Oh, yeah, they showed up at a movie theater.
Yeah.
Like AMC or something. And they look great in person. Like, holy moly.
Woody Harrelson, perfect casting, I think. He's going to be doing a great job.
Yeah, I like how menacing he is in the role. It's good stuff. Oh man, I love the same jokey humor from the first one is still here in this movie. Venom like fixing his nose and breaking it a second time.
Yeah, you could tell Tom Hardy's having fun being the voice of Venom as well.
Like, I think it's pretty fair to say that Tom Hardy is to Venom what Ryan Reynolds is to Deadpool at this point, right? Like, like he brings that character to life in like just the best way.
I mean, he does a good job of playing off of himself. I mean, it's there for the humor, but it's also a little weird how the ex-fiancée is still here, right? She Venom, and she got engaged to her boyfriend who was the doctor.
I thought that was a weird thing. I thought they were getting together after the first one like ended.
Yeah,
like I thought the whole thing was that they remedied their past, but maybe she just can't live with Venom being around. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be weird, right? Because I'm pretty sure She-Venom's going to come back.
Yeah, I could see that happening again.
But no, it's also fun, too, the way Venom's just like, what are you doing? That's supposed to be us.
And then punches him in the face. I need another Eddie Brock eating lobsters out of the tank scene.
Yeah, so some more wild stuff like that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Super excited for this one. And again, the release date is September 24th, so that is next month.
Hopefully no more delays. Sony is being real cagey about that No Way Home trailer. Maybe delaying more, I don't know, like for that movie for COVID. I think Disney's landscape of movies is going to change a lot.
You know, with the whole thing with ScarJo too, you know, that's going to be changing things up.
Yeah, should we just bring that up real quick? Should we just talk about it?
Yeah, so Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney because when they made their contract with the Black Widow movie, they estimated her salary based off of theatrical release. And then once the movie got delayed with COVID, of course, Disney's solution was, well, Disney Plus, we'll put the movies on there and we'll charge people $30. From what I heard, her lawyers contacted Disney about that and wanted to renegotiate the contract to adjust with the whole Disney Plus bit for it, right? Because, you know, I'm assuming a lot of people still do that with the whole Disney Plus thing, spend the $30.
Yep, that's still a whole thing to get it early.
And that Disney didn't reply or even respond to those offers or those conversations with her lawyers, so that's why we're going into legal action for that.
Boy howdy, that's a pickle. isn't it? That's
Yes, it is, because ScarJo's up there, and so if this is going to be interesting to see. I think Emma Stone was somewhere, and they asked her, what does she think about that, and is she going to do that for Cruella? And she said she's weighing her options.
Yeah, I heard that she was on the fence about it, and then Gerard Butler might be coming after Warner Brothers.
Because that is the first thing I thought of too. I'm like, man, if ScarJo wins this case, what is that going to mean for the other streaming services like HBO Max, where they said, hey, all of our movies up till 2022 are going to be same day release on HBO Max.
It's going to be a heck of a thing right there to swap that up. I know one of the things though that did get changed. The Eternals and Free Guy will no longer be streaming on Disney Plus right away. They are going to wait to stream those.
Interesting.
Yeah, I saw that news pop up and I was like, oh, look at that. Isn't that just an interesting tidbit of news? Isn't that cute?
I mean, Free Guy has Ryan Reynolds. He's also a pretty big star. And then you do have some big names in Eternals as well.
I think the biggest of them being Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek. I don't think you would want to cross either of those two actresses with contract problems like that. So I think that's going to be interesting that those two in particular will not be on Disney Plus.
Well, we could backtrack to some Sony stuff with Spider-Man No Way Home, because we do have a bunch of stuff for that. And first thing I just want to say is Twitter was just like, yo, where's the trailer when Venom 2 dropped? Yeah, I guess we should be getting that soon too, but I'm more happy that we got the Venom trailer than Spider-Man at this point.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat, because currently my interest in the MCU is like pretty mild. It's not like super jazzed about it, but I'm sort of excited. I don't know. I'm like kind of in between. There hasn't been anything that's like been just like, yeah, about the MCU, but that Venom trailer had me like going.
We got a set photo of Spider-Man and Doctor Strange in front of the Sanctum Sanctorum, I'm guessing.
Yep.
As Doctor Strange is greeting him.
I think it's Strange coming out of the Sanctum.
I guess the paparazzi spotted Kirsten Dunst in L.A. Yeah, and of course, Kirsten Dunst, MJ from the Raimi trilogy.
Yep.
And Deborah Ann
Wall. Yeah.
Yeah, she is, of course, Karen Page from Daredevil. And a while back, there were those rumors that Charlie Cox was filming some of his scenes for Far From Home because he declined or he canceled a guest spot at a convention. And that was one of the weekends where they were filming. And these two actresses are in LA just around the same time where they're doing additional photography in LA for No Way Home.
Isn't that interesting how that all works out?
I was on Twitter and I saw that Deborah Ann Wall tweeted. She's like, oh, that's not me. And then everybody's just zooming in. It's like, I'm pretty sure that's you because, I mean, they're going off like the shape of her ear. I guess it is kind of unique. But I mean, you could tell even when she's wearing the mask, you could tell who that is.
Yeah, it's definitely her.
Yeah, so it's looking like we really are getting all of these characters in this movie.
And that's pretty cool. I hope it's still good. My dream of having Tom Holland just have his own Spider-Man movie is more and more fleeting at this point.
That was pretty much it for Far From Home, but not for Spider-Man, as we got a look at one of the new Hot Toys figures for Marvel What If, and we're seeing Spider-Man rocking Doctor Strange's cloak. Yeah,
he's got the cloak of levitation. And his name is Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. So I have a feeling this is going to be the guy who survives the zombie apocalypse on his planet, which is going to be crazy. This Peter Parker will probably be so dark.
Yeah, and then we actually did get a look with his mask off somewhere. And yeah, he looks older too. So he's been doing this for a while is what it's looking like. He looks great with the cloak and the spider suit.
Yeah, he looks real good. I'm definitely going to cosplay this at some point.
Heck yeah, man.
I don't think I have a choice. I have to. It's an earlier post that we sent in the chat. So it's got zombie Captain America, evil Doctor Strange, Black Widow in like Mad Max style body armor, and then Spider-Man with the cloak and no mask on. I think this is going to be the timeline part where Black Widow's throwing around the Red Guardian shield. So she might be a super soldier in this portion of it. Yeah. Oh man, the more I hear about What If, the more like stoked I'm getting for it, man. It's I can't lie, I'm pretty hyped. It sounded pretty neat.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of TV spots for it, and I haven't seen any of them because they just keep popping up, and we're so close to the release, which is on the 11th this week, and I thought, you know what, yeah, let me just wait until we actually get this coming out, and then
we'll start analyzing from there.
Yeah, and I mean, I will say Yellow Jacket got confirmed to be in the show as well.
Yes, which is pretty neat. Let's see. We also have another Hot Toys look at Captain Carter and Steve Rogers. And Steve Rogers is in the Hydra Buster suit, or Hydra Stomper. Is that what it's called? Hydra Stomper?
I hope so, because that's a great name.
Yeah, I think that's the name of it. But he's inside the giant metal suit. The only thing I heard as an update to this like storyline part of it is that the reason Steve isn't Captain America is because he gets injured while he's in training. So,
okay.
Yeah, so then Carter has to step up and take the serum. It doesn't mean that Steve Rogers is out of the fight, baby.
Okay, that makes sense why he would be rocking that suit. Okay.
Which I was like, that's a good way to bridge that gap, I think.
Yeah. There was that promo poster for Captain Carter where it's the Captain America propaganda poster, and then it's ripped, and then it's Carter behind.
Yeah, I dug that. That was pretty neat.
I mean, only one other thing I would say about What If is, we didn't talk about it, but yeah, there's that shot of Gamora. She's wearing Thanos' armor and has his sword. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. So it's looking like those really old leaked pictures we saw of it are probably going to be spot on to what's happening in the show. So I'm pretty excited to see Infinity Stone Ultron. I'm pretty excited for that. That's going to be cool.
Again, August 11th, that's dropping. Of course, they're going to be doing the weekly thing, because why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
It's going to be a total of 9 episodes, and they also confirmed that season 2 will also be 9 episodes.
Yeah, I'm hoping they're all a half hour or something like that, or at least like 25 minutes. I've been seeing some rumors go around that the episodes might only be like 9 to 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Well, I mean, according to Wikipedia, they're roughly 30 minutes in length.
That's really good. I'm a lot happier with them being 30 minutes each, because 10 minutes each would not be enough time, I don't think, for the storyline. And that would be a bummer of a thing to have to wait for a week to see the next episode of if they were only 10 minutes each.
They talked a little bit more about the show, and one of the questions was this coming out after Loki, and they said, no, it's not a coincidence. We planned for this to be after Loki, pretty much, and by exploring the multiverse after Loki, you can consider this show canon to the MCU multiverse.
Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing about it being like, this is still going to be an important thing to watch. Like, it's not just because it's animated, you get to, like, not worry about it. No, this will be something that's still relatively important to check out.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that gets tackled later on in the theatrical releases for movies.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty neat.
Yeah, so that's soon, and then I'm guessing shortly after that is when Hawkeye will come out, because that is releasing November 24th for the first episode.
Hawkeye sounds interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about Kate Bishop just being a fangirl character.
Ooh, yeah, that was a thing. Don't know much about Kate Bishop either. The only thing I really read that she was in was Old Man Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just say their relationship in there did not feel like that at all.
Yeah, I never picked that up from the comic books, so I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'm hoping the next generation of Marvel heroes isn't all just fanboy characters of former Marvel heroes. We're going to have Kate Bishop, and Kamala Khan is obviously going to be a fangirl. And then is Ironheart going to be a fangirl of Tony Stark?
I hope not, because from what I understand with Riri Williams is that she's just super smart. And I think what happened was she found an Iron Man suit and worked on it on herself, and then she decided to wear it when Tony Stark, quote unquote, was missing or died in the comics, and so she wanted to take up the mantle or something like that.
I could see how they could turn that into a fangirl thing. Don't do that, Marvel. Don't do that. That's not a good way to write characters. Well, I hope the Hawkeye show is good. If it can have action scenes that are like Falcon and Winter Soldiers, it'll probably still be pretty decent.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's got my boy Jeremy Renner in there, so he's cool.
Yeah, he's great. Great guy. Of course, we're going to be seeing Yelena showing up at some point in here.
I would hope Yelena also means we get Red Guardian.
Yes, more of him, please. So cool, man. I think with that, that's really all the news for Marvel side of things right now. There was the set photo for Love and Thunder with Christian Bale.
Yeah, first look is Gore the God Killer.
It just looks like a set photo. You know, I'm pretty sure they're going to be throwing in some CG on him.
It looks like they're going to be using like similar visual effect stuff to Vision. Like how they would paint his face the particular color they needed it and then just change it with CG.
Mainly to get light referencing and all of
Yep.
that. Yeah, it looks okay. Pretty much.
Yeah, it looks fine. I don't know. I wish he was a different character. I wish he was Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, I forgot there was a new promo image for No Way Home, and it was with the Spidey suit, which is the gold and black one, but the arm pieces are still red, which just doesn't look good.
Yeah, okay, so that is, I found out the Inside Out suit. Like, that's the suit Inside Out. I don't know what that means. I don't know how that works. But, like, if you zoom in on it, you can see, like, the interior detail that's, like, when Peter has the suit flipped inside out and he's trying to mess with the circuitry in Homecoming. Like, it's that...
That's right.
It's that same circuitry detailing. I don't know what the deal is.
I guess we could say he does wear the nano suit, too, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last time we talked about, like, with the toy stuff, it's like, oh, no, he's wearing the other suit under the nano suit, so maybe that's why? Just that black and red just don't really...
The red on the gloves doesn't work.
Yeah, it just stands out way too much.
Needs something different going on there, I think. A little bit more color variation.
Yeah, I think that wraps up all the news that we missed since the last episode. So, all right, with that, we can dive in to what we're really doing here on the show. That is talking about two movies, Fantastic Four and Transformers the movie. Yeah, so again, August 7th marked the 6-year anniversary for Fantastic Four, starring Miles Teller, Kate Mara, Michael B. Jordan, and Jamie Bell. You recently watched it for the first time.
Yes, I actually picked up, in honor of the anniversary, I decided to see if I could find a copy of the movie on Blu-ray, and I did. And the copy that was on Blu-ray was $4, and it came in the Steelbook case, brand new. And the Steelbook case is actually really nice. It's got pictures of stuff that don't happen in the movie. I think overall, I didn't hate this movie as much as I think a lot of other people do. Because, this movie's notoriously has, like, a bad rap. Like, people notoriously don't like this film. Like, that's, like, a huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is like X-Men 3 levels of kind of bad. It's not terrible, but it's like, it's not great. And I'm like, it's just kind of fine. And I had a good time watching the first half of the movie, and then the second half of the movie, I got so bored. I didn't think it was terrible. I just think Ben Grimm doesn't look good at all throughout any of it. I think he's good as a normal human.
Yeah, he looks okay. I think they went a little too hard with saying, like, oh, he's made of a bunch of different pieces of rock kind of thing. I'm on the same boat. I think the movie is okay. There's a lot of potential there for it to be pretty good. It's just, that back half, there's just a lot of decisions that are, they're just not the best for it. I get it. They were just, I guess, trying to do something different here. But when you get the bad superhero cliches in there for a third act, that's where the real problems kind of lie. I think everybody plays off of each other really well in that movie.
Yeah, I think all the relationships are really good, especially in the first half of the movie. I'm a pretty big fan of Ben Grimm and Reed Richards and their whole friendship, and then I love Johnny Storm and his dad. Mm-hmm. I think Johnny Storm being like a renegade rich kid is great. I really dig that a lot, actually.
Yeah, and I like the slow progression with Reed and Sue in the movie, and how they get closer throughout the time that they're making this
interdimensional portal doodad.
yeah.
Whatever it is.
The Stargate, let's just call it that.
Yeah, the Stargate. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what it is. Yeah, I really dig their whole build up and relationship stuff. One thing I don't like is I don't like Sue's wig. Oh my god.
Yeah,
That is horrible. Like, it's so bad. Like, it's not even close to being the right kind of hair on her head. That's
Yeah, it's really bad. Like you wouldn't think it'd be that bad, but no, like you could tell it's a wig that she's wearing, and they don't even try to get close to the actual blonde that she was in the movie.
Yeah, no, there's nothing there.
Yeah, so there's those clear reshoots with her there. But yeah, man, like there's good ideas in here. They have to work with the government as Miles Teller escapes from the facility, and having Ben just be their hitman essentially in foreign countries.
There's good concepts, man. Like, that's a pretty interesting storyline to me with that whole deal. And then the fact that they're training Sue and Johnny to do the same stuff is like also like, wow, that's dark. Like, that's cool and dark. And hey, shout out to another long-standing Marvel actor. The Mind guy from Incredible Hulk plays the main military dude.
yeah, he's in there, of course.
Yeah, and I liked his character. I thought he was pretty neat.
Yeah, he's just a standard government character, right? It's like, oh, like these guys got abilities. We could use this. Let's try to go back to what was it called? Earth Zero? Not Earth Zero, Planet Zero or something.
Yeah, like Zero Dimension, the negative zone. I don't remember. And it's not technically like another planet. It's like Earth, but in like a different dimension or something like that. Like,
yeah.
So technically, this movie could lead to the multiverse if they wanted it to.
Yeah, I mean, it's still on the table.
What a trip that would be if they brought back this group of people to be the Fantastic Four in whatever Marvel's making. Wow. Holy moly.
I think to me it's the same thing with the X-Men, right? Because if they're going to get recast, it's like you just keep the new young people. You know, they're here for it. And, I mean, I like this cast for the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I don't mind them. I think they're all pretty great. Like, Miles Teller as Reed Richards, I think is pretty inspired casting. Personally, yes. I think he's really good as Reed. Even if the movie doesn't give him a lot to work with, I think he makes the most of the script that he's got.
I mean, of course, I think the only person I would say fine with the recast is for Victor Von Doom, right?
Oh, God. Have this be a Mandarin situation. That wasn't that wasn't him. That's not who Victor Von Doom was.
Yeah.
Like, at all. Just don't even have that in it. Like, it's... I didn't like him at all. Terrible. Horrible part of the movie. The first scene you have him in, he's like a hacker man in like his dirty, dark, gross apartment. And I'm like, what is this? What are we watching? Like, what movie is this? Like, is this The Matrix? Like, it's Neo. Like, whoa. Man. To say that there is a character that I did not care about in the least in this movie, it's him.
I remember. I don't know if you remember when they first announced Victor Von Doom for the movie, and then them saying, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be a hacker," and everybody was just not having it.
I just don't understand why they can't do Doom correctly, man. It doesn't work. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just them like, oh, we have to try something really different here. But I don't think hacker is one of them. That's for sure.
They haven't even tried regular Doom yet. Like, we don't even know if that would work. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Just do Doom regular once. Like, just one time. Give it a shot. I don't know. Would you want to bring back this actor as Doom?
No,
like this actor, but have him be like comic booky Doom. Like he's full Latvarian and stuff. Like, do you think this guy could pull it off?
Maybe. He looks familiar. I just don't remember what movies this guy has been in here.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I remember he was in Bloodshot.
Oh yeah, he was in Bloodshot. Oh my god.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh.
No, I don't know if he could pull that guy off. I don't know, because just looking through it, he was also the wizard that helps the antagonist in The Sorcerer's Apprentice as well. I remember
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So maybe this is more his lane, I guess. This weird,
kooky hacker man. Oh, God. So
yeah.
bad.
I would say maybe get somebody a little older to play Doom.
Yeah, that would be cool. An older like, John Hamm would probably make a good Doom.
Ooh, yes.
Or
yes.
Clive Owens would make a pretty good Doom. You need somebody like dark and imposing, I think.
John Hamm would be great. The only real stuff I've read with Doom as like for his own comic anyways was Infamous Iron Man. And I like how he is in that storyline. And he kind of looks like John Hamm in there, you could say.
Okay.
Might be a bit of a stretch, but just the way he was in that comic, I think John Hamm could pull that off pretty good.
That would be cool. How'd you feel about them repeating the love triangle storyline between Reed, Sue, and Doom?
It feels so forced in this movie.
That's exactly how I felt. I was like, this is... like, I don't believe that Sue and Dr. Doom had a relationship at all before they met on screen in this movie. Like, not in any way. It's really funny. I think that's where some of like my favorite comedy moments of the first half come from. Or from how awkward that is. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course that's the only reason that Victor shows back up to help with the project, right?
Yeah, is because the dad's like he asks like, will Sue be there? And the dad's like, yeah, she's working on it, but you gotta come here now.
I will say with Doom, the very beginning of when he was attacking the base, I thought that was good.
Oh, like when he's like blowing up people's heads? Yeah, I really dug that whole bit because that plays into my favorite aspect of the movie, which is like the spooky alternate dimension body horror stuff. Like, it's like, we don't really understand what we're interacting with here, but we're gonna try and figure it out, and it's gonna be spooky. God, when like Reed Richards wakes up like on the table,
yes,
and his limbs are just like stretched all the way out, and like when he wakes up in the room and like he's trying to crawl towards Ben and his legs are just stretching like back past him and he thinks he's gotten out from under the rock, I'm like, this is great stuff. This is so scary. I loved it.
Yeah, probably the highlight for me for the film is that sequence right there.
Yeah. Such great stuff. And then like seeing Ben Grimm trying to break out of the rock and like just screaming in pain. Sue can't control the invisibility powers, so like her father can't see her anymore, like physically. I'm like, this is... And then like Johnny Storm just being constantly on fire. Ugh, it's so scary. I was like, that's a really good way to look at this whole setup of like how they get their powers and stuff. And I legit liked when they were trying to come back from the other planet and like just it was just
yes.
thing after thing was just going wrong. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. Like, this is all really good stuff. Like when Ben can't close the door and then he just gets like pummeled by rocks, and then Johnny like looks out the window and he gets hit by the fire and it starts burning him. I'm like, whoa, this is good stuff, man. Like,
yeah, if I ever go and cut down this film, that's kind of where I would end it, would just be the panning shot of Reed Richards escaping into the snow.
Yeah. Like, that's such a good ending point. I wish this movie was better in the second half, because the first half is like, I think it's legitimately good. I think the only parts that are a little still weird in the first half, obviously, are Sue's hair changing constantly, and then like the teacher at the school is really stupid.
Yeah, the whole school stuff too. Yeah,
it's so weird. Like, they're at like a science fair and they're like 25, and there's like a kid that they steal like an airplane from, and he's like 12, and I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. What is this science fair? What age range is this whole thing? Like, what are we doing?
It's just super weird, right? Like, they're not seniors in high school.
No,
or I mean, they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't
They should be like college level.
Yeah. It's very strange. I don't get it. But I dug like when they were like kids, and like I thought all the parts with them there was good. Seeing like Ben Grimm's home life being like the exact opposite of Reed's, but how they're still able to be like best buddies type of thing. Like, that's all really good. And I felt like that should have been the entire, like, emotional centerpiece of the movie. It was, like, their friendship. And it sort of is, but then they forget about it sort of towards the end of the film.
Yeah, the friendship part is the main driving force for Reed Richards in the movie because he wants to fix Ben and bring him back to normal. Yeah, it just gets focused on the military stuff, and then Doom shows up. And I will still say, man, I think the suits are pretty good in this one, too. I love that they're individually different.
Like they all have
match their
to
abilities.
accommodate the powers. You know, the people who have suits are neat.
The two people, excuse me.
Yeah, because Reed's suit is just his space suit.
Yeah, but he modified it himself as well.
Yeah,
to match with it, right?
I really like his fight scene with the soldiers. I thought his little battle scene with them was really good.
Oh, when they find his where he's staying at, right?
Yeah, where they try to catch him. I thought that whole little fight scene was good. I was like, oh, see, that's the exact kind of stuff I was expecting with Reed Richards. And then I really dig like how he's able to change his face.
Yes, I like that scene a lot.
There was a good movie in here somewhere. Disappeared on the way to the Blu-rays.
Yeah, I mean, there were those stories of the director being kind of crazy, right, during the reshoots or something.
Yeah, like film. Josh Trank was just not having it, which is a bummer, because I really do want to see what his original vision for this, especially considering some of the stuff that was in like the original script stuff. Like I heard about some of the stuff, like that we were gonna get the flying car in this movie, and there's like a bunch of concept art of the flying car that's like a bunch of old sedans just like done up with hover car stuff on them, which are pretty neat looking. In the scene where they're trying to catch Reed, that's probably where we would have seen the hover car.
Yeah, I could see that. Also, yeah, super weird. The Thing just doesn't wear clothes.
Yeah, that's a little odd, isn't it?
It's a little weird there.
Yeah, definitely a strange one.
But not for long though, as there I didn't know this as I was looking up stuff for the movie. Or I'll post a link for this article. But there was concept art for the Fantastic Four to show up in Deadpool 2 for a cameo.
Oh snap!
Yeah, and they're all revamped suits to make it more all a uniform. I think the uniform's fine. What's cool is that Johnny Storm's is red instead of blue like everyone else's. Cause I guess,
wow, they look really good.
Thing. Yeah,
and I like that Ben Grimm's concept art has him looking a lot more like the comic. That's nice.
Yeah, he has his uniform on, and I love that he's smoking a cigar too.
Yeah, I did like that they brought that up in this movie, that he like actively smoked cigarettes and stuff, like while he was still like a human dude. Yeah, I like their uniforms. These are nice. These aren't too bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know that they that this was a thing.
Yeah,
that would have been cool to see. But
so I sent a link in the chat as well. It's a link that shows all the concept arts of the Fantastic Car, and then also concept art of their little robot friend Herbie would have been in the movie. But they decided to scrap Herbie because they didn't want to have comparisons to Star Wars characters or Jarvis.
Oh, BB-8.
Yeah, like BB-8 or Jarvis. Okay. Yeah, they didn't want to have it be too close.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. This looks like it's something that Richards would have made when he was young.
Yeah, like Herbie would have been like his childhood friend robot.
Yeah, that's cool. A bunch of Lego pieces are there.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, look at the Fantastic Car. That looks great.
Yeah, these designs are so cool. Like I dig all of them. Like they're all just like built out of like...
Oh, it transforms too. Cool.
Yeah. So that would have been really neat. I like the Fantastic Car that's just a van.
Yeah.
It's just a bus.
Reminds me of Ben 10, man.
Yeah, it looks great.
That's cool.
I'm really bummed that some of this stuff didn't make it into the final movie, because I think all this stuff looks really good. Would have been really way more comic booky too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Reed would have had to made the van while he was on the run, and I guess that's just maybe it was just too out there, is what Fox thought.
Yeah, that could be. That could be.
But you know what? That's one of those things. That's where you lean in.
Yeah, because honestly,
this
like
kind of movie,
Fantastic Four is like the one deal that needs that. I think. And I know there's another part that I don't think it made it to concept art stages, but it was there were supposed to be Doom bots in this movie.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, like there were supposed to be multiple Doom bots throughout the film. In fact, the first big reveal of a Doom bot would have been right at the end when they finish off. Dr. Doom goes into the laser, and he would have just been a robot that gets exploded. And they would have been like, what? And then it would have turned out that Dr. Doom was running everything from afar.
It just sucks that this movie ended up being what it was. Yeah, and for me, it's mainly with the casting, right? Because they probably won't ever come back.
Yeah, I don't know if you could get this cast of people back together. Like maybe Michael B. Jordan and Miles Teller conceivably come back, but I don't know if Jamie Bell or Kate Mara.
Yeah, I thought Kate Mara was cool. She does play off of Miles Teller well, but I don't think she's like super crucial to play Sue Storm.
Yeah,
they could swap her out. I mean, the thing is the thing, right? It's just a CG guy, so you could get almost anybody.
Oh, there's an on-set photo of the Fantastic Car. Deleted footage shows the Fantastic Car in the background. Whoa, look at that. Wow, it looks terrible. I love it. It looks like just a hunk of junk. Let me throw this in the chat here. Boy, I hope they release more of this stuff. Like more of this behind-the-scenes footage would be cool. I would super watch behind-the-scenes footage of this.
That's what I would picture a runaway Reed Richards would make.
Like just a banged up, just parts exposed everywhere.
And you know, there would be some good back and forth with him and Johnny Storm because, of course, he's a racer, right? So he works on cars. Just give Reed just like the whole list of like, what are you doing, man? This, and that. Like that would have been fun.
Yeah, that would have been cool. I'm curious what they were doing during this scene, like where this takes place in the movie, because like they all look super tired and like beat up.
Maybe it's at the end of the movie, where maybe it's them trying to figure out how to get back home.
Yeah, because it was a little weird that like because I can totally see how the flying car would have fit into that ending in a different way, where like instead of them flying over in one of Sue Storm's like energy orbs or whatever, they would have flown over in the Fantastic Car. And maybe that's like, oh, maybe that could be like after they've landed the car and like they're just like, oh my god, like how did we make it through that? And then now they're like, now we gotta stop Doom or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't remember, how did they get there? They just jump in
They just jump through the portal that opens up. Yeah,
it's pretty boring. Yeah. I didn't know that Michael B. Jordan wore a light suit when he was on fire.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. There's another scene here at about 2 minutes and 16 seconds where they're talking around the car, and it's that kind of scene, I think. And they're talking around the Fantastic Car because it's got a crazy engine in the back here, and like, boy, that's cool. That looks so nice.
I do know that in the trailers, like the second or third trailer, there are scenes in there that never made the final cut.
Yeah, there's also the poster that never made the final cut. There's like a poster that's it's all four of them. Like there's multiple posters where they're in the background. There's a city being destroyed. And that doesn't happen in the movie. That's not a thing that happens in the film, which I think is really funny.
Yeah, they just do the giant tornado ring of death in the sky.
Yeah, where it sucks up the area right around where the base is at. And granted, it does kill thousands of people, which totally makes sense why they would be getting medals from the military at the end of the movie, right? That's a thing. Why did they get medals? They killed a lot of people. This was all their fault.
Well, they stopped Doom, so...
Okay, yeah. I think it was an interesting film to watch. I like watching it for the good parts. Once it does the time jump, there's not a whole lot that anybody needs to see after that. I think if you're watching it at home, once the time jump happens, you can basically just stop watching the movie.
Yeah. One of these days, we should do a Marvel Talk cut of this movie.
That would be cool. Like it's going to be like a half hour long.
Yeah.
Because half the movie just won't be there.
The boy Tobey Maguire fan 53, he would like to do a cut as well. Because again, yeah, like if this was just like a prologue or a prequel film into whatever they were going to do next and have the setup for Doom at the end in a post-credit scene, I think that would have played off a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess because I guess just they think, oh, it's a superhero movie, so they have to fight a bad guy, right? That's the thing that they have to do.
And a bad guy who's... This movie also has like a weird like environmental bend to it, where it's like the whole reason they're trying to go to the alternate dimension is to find a clean energy source, right? I think that's the whole reason they're doing it. But Victor Von Doom's thing is that he always wanted to be a spaceman, which is very cute. It's a very cute motivation. But then once he gets to the other planet and he does the spaceman thing, and then he falls in the stuff, he only like a year goes by, right? But he's like fully mutated and become like a part of his armor.
Yeah, the suit melts on him and everything.
Yeah, like it's now like a part of him type deal. And now his whole obsession is stopping humankind from ruining his new planet.
Yeah, he feels like he belongs there now as he taps into whatever the power is that they get out of that green energy.
Yeah, whatever that's supposed to be. I don't know. The Mako energy from Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. that's a good way to put it, yeah.
And I gotta say, that final fight is boring. It's so boring. Like, Ben Grimm throws a rock, and then Johnny Storm does, like, nothing? Johnny Storm, I think, throws 2 fireballs once, and then he, like, flies through the pillars.
They just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it must be something like that. And you can tell that all those scenes are reshoots, because Sue is in the wig. I do think it's interesting that Doctor Doom, because, like, all of their powers came from that planet, he can control the powers, in a way. Like, he can control their powers and, like, influence them.
Yeah, because he's the one that got the most direct contact with the powers, where everything else was sort of just a reaction from them failing to return back to Earth.
From one guy sticking his hand in the green stuff. They were drunk. It's, it happens.
Them getting the motivation to go, them having a boys' night.
Yep.
Before, like, launch day, and they're like, you know what, forget this, let's just do it. Like, that stuff was fun.
Yeah, I loved that whole aspect of it, and I like that Victor Von Doom and Reed were starting to, like, form a friendship there and stuff, like...
But yeah, so that is 2015's Fantastic Four.
You gotta say it the right way, sir. It's Fant4stic.
Oh, excuse me. That's right, yeah. I almost forgot.
Proper pronunciation for this movie. Give it some respect, all right? Would you recommend people watch this movie? Would you tell people to seek it out?
If you haven't seen it before, I do think it's worth looking at least for what we're saying, the first half, and then... But see, I don't know, like, the back half, you can't really have a good time like you can with X-Men Origins.
Yeah,
right?
It's not as goofy. It's definitely not as goofy. It just gets boring.
Yeah, if it was just that absurd wackiness that we can laugh at, then yeah, definitely watch the whole thing through. But yeah, with it not being that, at least watch up until after Reed Richards escapes.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep. And maybe just find the clip of Reed Richards fighting guys in the forest.
Yeah, I like that. And yeah, also, like, I guess the scene of him transforming his face too.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that scene because, like, you could kind of feel like he's struggling to do it, and, like, it almost sounds painful when he changes back.
Yeah. That's something that I thought was really neat about it. The sound design in the movie's pretty good, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, would you recommend it, Jake?
Yeah, probably for a lot of the same reasons that you said. I definitely don't think this is as bad as everybody makes it out to be. It's just, sort of disappointing in the second half where it just gets boring. But I really dig the first half of this movie. I think it's actually, like, really good. Really well shot. Even though the Baxter building looks terrible, that's not the fault of shooting. It's just a bad set design.
Yeah.
But I dig a lot of the aspects of it. Other than that, like, in the first half a lot. Like the relationships between all the characters are really interesting. Like, the setup between everybody's really cool except for Von Doom. So I would say that if you're looking for just something that you can, like, maybe just watch the first half of this, and it's pretty good.
Well, all right. Shall we dive in to the animated Transformers film?
Oh, yes! 35 magical years ago, Hasbro decided that they needed to make a new wave of Transformers figures for the third season of the cartoon. And so they made the riskiest, ballsiest move ever of a toy company, and they killed everybody off. And it was awesome. Ah, man. What a great movie. Did you get a chance to watch this again?
No, I ended up not getting a chance. But I will say I did watch, somebody I follow on Twitter reposted Optimus's death scene. Man, just the way everything's played out in that scene is so good. The music,
it's beautiful.
The way he passes on his legacy, the way Hot Rod picks it up to give it to Ultra Magnus. Just, yeah, everything about it was fantastic. Even, I remember when I first watched, like the early days when I first watched it, you know, all those years ago, and then just seeing Optimus fade to a dark gray, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy.
Yeah. As a kid, it definitely, like, that all that stuff, like, just wrecked me as a kid. My history with this movie is the first thing that I ever saw of Transformers was I saw, like, they had, like, the first 3 episodes on a videotape of the original cartoon, and that was, like, all I saw until I got to see the movie. So I went straight from first 3 episodes, all the Autobots, really cool characters, to having them all get killed off in like the first 10 minutes of the movie and being like, oh no, I don't know. It's like, it's right down to even like just the opening bit for me where all the Decepticons storm, the Autobot shuttle as it's on its way to Earth, and they just murder them all. They kill them all, man. And it's like, whoa, that never happened in a cartoon before now. Normally they just shoot lasers at each other and they miss a lot. Like, every once in a while, they might hit somebody, but it was never, like, a death thing, you know? Like, nobody died. So this movie, to officially, like, start killing off characters, I think was huge, ballsy, risky stuff. To me, it had, like, this movie just, like, I don't know. It's very transcendent, I think, of, like, 80s cartoon culture stuff. Like, it takes that risk. Like, it goes that extra step that I don't think a lot of other cartoon 80s stuff wanted to do.
And that's really what makes the movie great, right?
Because it does have a darker tone than a lot of other stuff coming out for kids at the time. Like, it definitely has a more mature tone while still being, like, super colorful and entertaining and just full of, like, the best music. Dare and The Touch are 2 of, like, the best songs. Like, they're just so good. Just real good stuff, man. This whole movie, it holds such a soft spot for me in my heart. I can recite it, I think, like back to front, like no problem.
Yeah, I used to watch it so much back in the day because it was just good throughout. There's like so much going on in the movie, so many different locations we go to, and a lot of focuses on different characters throughout the whole thing. The journey Megatron has to meeting Unicron, turning into Galvatron, like all that stuff was fantastic.
Yeah, so good. I want to bring up just this amazing voice cast for a minute here because it's probably one of the best voiced animated movies, like maybe of all time. I don't know. That might be saying a lot, but this movie has tons of celebrity performers in it. It's, you know, it doesn't overshadow the movie itself, having all these celebrities in it. Like, everybody is so well casted and directed, even if they weren't, like, super cool about it. Like, we got, you know, Robert Stack as Ultra Magnus, good old Unsolved Mysteries guy. Eric Idle as Wreck-Gar from Monty Python. You got Leonard Nimoy as Galvatron, like frickin' Spock is in this movie. And then, of course, you got Scatman Crothers as Jazz again for, like, the last time he got to be Jazz. Of course, we can't go without mentioning Orson Welles, the man himself, as Unicron.
Oh, yeah, Unicron's voice was fantastic.
Oh, yeah. And my favorite story about it is that, like, Orson Welles, like, this is a story from, like, the vocal director. Like, Orson Welles showed up, said, I'm not acting with anybody else, and no one can look at me when I enter and exit the building. So he had to have, like, a little towel around his head to get in and out. And then he has a famous quote saying, my final role before I die will be for a toy commercial. So, like, he famously just did not give a shit at all about being in the movie. So his voice acting reflects that, that he just does not care. But I think it totally works for the character because he's playing like this crazy omnipotent being from the stars, like essentially like the devil for Transformers.
Yes.
And he's great. Like, he sounds perfect for it. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I think this was like where my real love for the Dinobots started forming after watching all these movies, because, you know, just loving Grimlock, like, he just brings so much every time he shows up on screen.
Oh,
with,
yeah.
I forget the, what's his name that tags along with him?
Oh, the little Transformer guy, Wheelie?
Wheelie, yeah.
Constantly
like,
speaking in rhymes.
Oh, and then of course, I think on that planet that they're on, those Transformers that learn through radio how to speak.
Yeah, the Junkions.
Those guys were so cool.
That's where Eric Idle is from Wreck-Gar. Yeah, he's man, that whole concept of like just how much more expanded the universe of Transformers got just from that movie is like ridiculous, because they introduced like the Junk Planet guys, then they introduced the dudes with the shark Transformers that are like conducting crazy court proceedings.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, can't forget that.
So much good stuff, man.
I mean, the Insecticons were there. Of course, Devastator.
Yeah.
When he shows up.
Yep.
Oh, man.
They make him so scary in the movie, too. Like, they do such a good job. Like, the voice for him and everything is great. I just remembered, Hot Rod is voiced by none other than Judd Nelson.
Yes.
You know, the Hot Rod renegade of the 80s movies. So, perfect casting, in my opinion.
I think you mentioned the Decepticons attacking the intro, but one scene I do remember is the intro with Unicron as he's devouring that other planet, and just seeing how scary it is. You know, it's a perfect setup for him.
What a crazy opening to like a children's movie. just like the annihilation of an entire planet and everyone on it. Like, holy moly.
Yeah, so crazy,
man. And I just, I don't know. I love all the, like, the line deliveries, too. There's, like, so many just good lines of dialogue in this that always come to mind. Like, one of my favorites is, like, Springer when he's loading the rocket into the missile launcher in the Autobot City. And he's like, I've got better things to do tonight than die. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's so good. Oh, man. Just so many classic little line deliveries and stuff. Like, everybody was just pitch perfect for their characters. I don't know. I love that there's like small moments of levity that we get like throughout the movie. Like, I love when they first end up on the junk planet and Daniel, the human kid, is trying to figure out how to use the exosuit for the first time. Like with RC and the other guys. Yeah, so cool. And then Cup is a classic favorite of mine. I love Cup. His old.
Oh yeah. The great grizzled old man.
Yeah. Well, I've been around for generations, even though you've never seen me before in the TV show. I was like, wait a minute, Cup wasn't in season 1 or 2. What? Great cast of characters. Great storyline too. It's probably like one of the most pure versions of like the hero's journey, other than like Star Wars, I think, that's ever been in terms of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, the rise of Hot Rod stepping up into the role.
Yeah. They didn't stick the finish, though. Stick the landing in season 3. They definitely did not stick the landing in season 3. But that can be for another day. We don't have to talk about that.
Yeah. Another character I like to note is Blur, and just how he's animated and just literally just blurs as he's talking because he's going too fast.
Yeah. And did you ever see the old Micro Machine commercials with like the world's fastest talker guy?
No.
Oh man, because that's where he's from. So Micro Machines back in the 80s had a line of commercials that were like just a dude talking as fast as possible. And he is the world's fastest talker. Like he's got the Guinness Book of World Records for being the fastest speaker of all time.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through the movie right now, and all the memories just floating in here.
Oh yeah, man. I'm so happy somebody uploaded it to YouTube recently.
Yeah.
Pretty cool that they did that around the 35th anniversary of the film. Thank you to whoever you are. I'm not going to name your name so that you don't get seen. Gosh, the animation on this is just so smooth too, just like absolutely beautiful. Oh, by the way, I don't know if it's going to be too late to catch it, but there is a special showing of Transformers the movie happening, like in theaters.
Oh, in theaters?
Yeah.
Nice.
So let me look it up real quick. Yes, it'll be next month in September. They're showing it on the 26th and the 28th in multiple places. So it doesn't have listings yet of where it's going to be showing at. I have a feeling I'll be going to see it again on the big screen. And just like speaking of like the weight of like how they kill out, I think that's one of the things I like about this movie is that the character deaths of it don't feel like wasted or like trivial. Like they feel really earned in this movie. Because you have been watching a lot of these characters for like if you've seen seasons 1 and 2 of the show, like watching them for a while, just the way that some of these characters get taken out is much more respectful than others. Like, you know, obviously Optimus Prime, the way he passes away is really heart-wrenching and dramatic. But I think the same can be said for some of the people that like RC pulls into one of the rooms where like she pulls like Wheeljack in and Wheeljack's just like on the floor done. And I'm like, damn. And Wind Charger's there too. And I'm like, whoo, this is where it got real. Like the war got really real during this part. And then like, I love the way they get rid of Starscream too. That's such a good scene when like it's Galvatron's first entrance and they're all like, who the heck are you? And he's like, I'm Galvatron. And then Starscream's like, no, you're not. And then he gets shot and crumbles to dust while Galvatron steps on the crown. And I'm like, yes.
I mean, also like the quote unquote Sailor Moon transformation he gets, right, with the other fallen Decepticon.
Oh yeah, where he gets reformatted by Unicron there.
Yeah,
that's great stuff. Like the animation on that scene is just stellar. Like it's amazing. Like the amount of detail that's just on like the underskin of Megatron when he gets like stripped down, like is amazing.
Yeah, very 80s too.
Yeah,
right.
Very 80s. Like I don't think I've, other than maybe the first Tron, I don't think I've seen a more 80s movie than this movie.
Yeah,
like this is quite possibly the most 80s film to like be around. Like just the colors, the sound effects, like the music. It's like especially like Stan Bush writes just some classic tracks for this. But I've listened to this soundtrack so many times just on repeat, and it's so good. Just excellent 80s hair metal. Like that's great stuff.
Yeah, you know, the 80s aspect doesn't really distract the film at all.
No.
You know, it just feels so natural for it to be in there.
Yeah, it really like a movie like this could only have existed in that era, I think. It
is dated, right? Because it's a bunch of 80s stuff. Like when you watch it, like, oh, this is clearly an 80s thing, but it doesn't feel dated, I guess you could say. Like if they made this movie, let's say 10 years ago, you're like, oh yeah, this feels dated because of all the stuff that they were doing back then for animated films, right? That would have been all over the place in this thing.
But this is a pretty timeless movie, I think. In terms of like, and you know, it takes place in the future far-flung year of 2005. So,
of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, that's pretty cool. Gosh, I'm skipping up to the transformation sequence of Unicron again. And just when he goes from the planet to a giant robot, just the way they have it all angled and like the forced perspective on everything is just it makes him look massive.
Yeah, that's when I was like, man, I need the Unicron toy. So
man. You don't want the most modern one. I'll tell you that right now. It's huge, and like goes for $1,000 these days.
Yeah, I remember seeing that on display, or at least an article talking about it on display. I was like, wow, that thing is too massive.
I got to see it at Comic-Con when they first announced it, and my goodness, it's magnificent, but I could never own it because I would have nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
I did, however, get a smaller version of Unicron that looks pretty much like the movie. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've got him on a stand as a planet above the rest of my movie collection of guys. But yeah, overall, man, I just don't know how much, like, I can gush about this movie so much. Like, I just, like, Hot Rod is definitely my favorite character. I love that there's a whole scene with him, like, in the shuttle fighting a robot with a lightsaber. I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's right.
yeah, and, like, the robot calls for a timeout and then beats him in the back. I do like that which characters they do pick to survive make me happy. Like Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, and Jazz making it through is really cool. I love when they finally enter Unicron, like they're inside him and like everything gets way more dramatic, like once they're in there, and a lot scarier.
Yes.
Like I love the fight between Galvatron and Hot Rod here at the end, where it's like just the lighting on the scene is just like so impressive.
Oh man, and yeah, the every time Unicron talks to Galvatron in his mind, the audio of him entering his mind and just the pain Galvatron feels. Like, oh.
And like the red that like envelops him and stuff, and he's like, "What did I do wrong?"
Yeah, and I don't know if we said it, but yeah, of course, Unicron's design super strong when he transforms into his robot form.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I love that he has Orson Welles' mustache.
Yeah.
When he transforms into a giant robot, and just the devil horns and the collar and everything. I'm like, yeah, that's Robot Satan. That's who that is. That is Robot Satan. Man, it's so good. Like picking through and like looking at little scenes and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I almost forgot about that scene where they get to that room where Daniel's dad is about to be dropped into that vat of whatever it is.
Like the acid bath or whatever, like that.
Yeah,
like,
you just see the other like Transformers just melting in there.
Yep. Dark stuff, man. Dark stuff. And you just hear him going like, no. Like just.
Yep, that's a kid's movie.
This is a movie for children. And just like the voice acting from the dad in that scene is like super good. Where he's just like, "You gotta blast that, son! I'm gonna die!" He's just like losing it. Like, I swear, this movie would not be half as good if the voice acting was not like where it was at. You know what I mean?
It's really key to the whole thing. Exactly.
They just don't. They just don't make movies like this anymore. Oh.
Yeah, it'd be hard to recreate this one for sure.
I really think so. I gotta skip back to the beginning part though, because I gotta look at the clips of Optimus Prime versus Megatron, man. The big final fight.
Yes, yeah, those are great.
When Optimus transforms into the truck and he speeds off and he's like, "I gotta stop him, no matter the cost." I'm like, "Yeah, you do, Optimus."
Yeah, all the timing for just the music kicking in, it's perfect.
Yeah, the editing is just, it's a chef's kiss. It's beautiful. All right, favorite part. What's your like favorite part? Do you have a favorite scene out of this whole thing?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one, man. I don't know. Maybe when the junk bots and the Dinobots are having their little fight going on, and then eventually they just come to terms with each other and just be buddies.
Yeah, like where they all start dancing.
Yeah, the fun moment I like is like very early in the beginning with Hot Rod and Daniel. They're just fishing.
Oh man, that scene. That I love that scene so much. That's like the ultimate kid fantasy, right? Is like you have a giant transforming robot friend and he goes fishing with you. Like
yeah.
Like that's as a little boy, like that's the stuff right there. Like that's the childhood fantasy. Not only that, but the kid has a hoverboard, and when he falls off the hoverboard, he just gets picked up by the cool robot, and the robot just turns into a car and drives him up the mountain.
Yeah, so cool, man.
Yeah, I think that whole opening bit with Hot Rod is probably part of my favorite sequence of the movie, I think. It's just, there's so many good scenes. I don't know. It's got some fun facts about this movie, some good times going on here. So fun fact number one that I can remember off the top of my head is that, you know how Ultra Magnus gets blown up into a bunch of pieces, right?
Yeah.
So Ultra Magnus originally was, and the voice acting reflects this because the voice acting was done with the intent of this scene actually happening and being animated out, but it wasn't because it was deemed too violent for this movie. Yes, there's a scene that was deemed too violent. What would happen is Scourge and the Sweeps, the little soap bar spaceship guys, when they fight Ultra Magnus, instead of just shooting him a bunch of times, they were actually supposed to fly over and grab each of his limbs and his head with ropes and pull him apart into multiple pieces. So pretty intense death scene originally for Ultra Magnus. But he still would have been brought back with the power of the Junkions and their talent for reviving folks. He would not have been dead for long, but that was the original death scene there.
The way he blew up and came back together was a good way to do it in the movie.
Yeah, I agree. And there are storyboards of him getting yanked apart. Those do exist. They're
buddy.
around, and I'm like, whoa. I know in the like cool fun story tidbit is in the comic books, Megatron is not Galvatron. Like they're two different people, but it's only really in this that he's Megatron. Ooh, somebody put the storyboards together with the audio. Ooh,
gosh, yeah. Imagine that being in the movie. Wow.
Yeah, man. And it's that got so far as to actually be in the storybook as well. There is a fully hand-drawn storybook, comic book version of the movie from the time period, and it has the quartering scene in it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, pretty crazy. And then there was supposed to be a whole scene where Hot Rod would have gotten out onto the outside of the spaceship and fought Cyclonus when they're being chased down by the Decepticons. So that would have been an interesting fight scene. I know that this is one of the most traumatizing films for children of the era because they had to redo the ending of the G.I. Joe cartoon movie because originally Duke died at the end of that movie as well as Optimus Prime dying in this. But because of the reaction to Optimus Prime dying, they decided to add in a line of dialogue to not have that happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like just a little, like one character says over a radio, Duke's pulling through, he's made it, but you don't see him. So they stopped that, which is pretty fun. If you ever want to go up and look more design info up from these guys, Flint Dilley is like the main dude who designed a lot of the Transformers designs in this, and his stuff outside of Transformers is ridiculously cool. It's where you get all the crazy, like, smooth flowing edges of all the different planets and stuff, and just the hyper detail of everything. Like, his design work is, it's out of this world, man. And Flint Dilley's also a crazy person. He believes that he invented all of the Transformers. He didn't, obviously. But it's pretty fun. Listen to rants of him and stuff. But he's got just a really interesting design style. Oh yeah, okay. To go into a little bit more of Orson Welles, right? Okay. He spent the day of October 5th performing Unicron's voice on set. So he recorded all of his dialogue for Unicron in one day.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And then he died 5 days later. On October 10th.
Oh, man.
Yeah. He wasn't doing too hot at that point in time, which is probably why he didn't want to be seen by too many people and why he felt so negative about doing the movie. Like, this is the final thing I'll be doing. I don't know if you've been keeping an eye on the toys, though, at all, but they've been releasing a bunch of new versions of all the characters from this lately. Studio Series Hot Rod and all the Studio Series figures that have come out are great. The Galvatron that's in there is excellent. Knocking it out of the park, man. These new toys look exactly like the movie. It's really cool. The only toy that I don't like is RC. That version is not... Don't pick up the RC toy. No, it's... She folds up her legs and arms and goes underneath the car that folds.
It's like that era. Okay.
Yeah. So RC's kind of whatever.
Oh, I think I'm looking at it here. Yeah, she has like a big piece on her back.
Yeah. She got that's the car. The car is on her back. The whole car is just on her back. Yeah.
I mean, I guess because her actual body frame is too small.
Yeah, it's pretty slender. Yep. If you like Dinobots, holy moly, you gotta get a Grimlock, dude, because he comes with Wheelie and he's great and I love him. He's awesome.
Oh, Wreck-Gar gets one too?
Yeah, Wreck-Gar's getting a new figure. Yeah.
Dude, that'd be so cool to have.
Yeah, I've got 2 of him on pre-order, so that way he's got a motorcycle to ride when he comes in.
That's another reason I like that sequence, is because that they're motorcycles, and there's those scenes where 2 of them get knocked down, and so they switch spots, and the other one becomes the motorcycle.
Yeah, I liked that part so much.
Yeah. Oh wow, a toy for I guess his name is Na, like the judges.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, that's weird. The photo that they're using for the RC figure, she's standing on top of the car part.
Oh yeah, that's a bonus mode, quote unquote.
Okay, like
yeah, that's what I said.
It's just weird.
I could get lost in this movie for like hours. I could just rewatch it over and over again. I swear.
Yeah, it's really a high quality film through and through. It's so good.
Yep. And I mean, I've seen this movie like 1,000 times that like I could run through it and I could be like, there's an animation error, there's an animation error, there's an animation error. It mostly is the colors like that are wrong in certain shots and stuff, but for the most part, this is a pretty good looking film. Also, like, got that 80s darkness to it that that I love in those old kids movies. Like,
oh, so Daniel comes with slag.
Yes, he will be in the suit.
I also like that Daniel's suit can transform as well. I thought that was fun.
Yeah, the figure that comes with slag does not have a transforming suit.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty small.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
And they are going to be working to do all of the Dinobots over the next couple of years. Yeah, we'll be getting all 5. I'm pretty excited about getting all 5 Dinobots. I was like, okay, cool. Yes, give them to me. Oh, man, the scene where Hot Rod beats up the squid and uses like the chainsaw thing in his wrist.
So is there a Hot Rod one and then a Rodimus Prime one? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes, there are 2 different figures. They have sort of similar transformations, but they are 2 different toys. Like the Hot Rod is significantly smaller than the Rodimus Prime, which I'm still looking for. Rodimus Prime evades me to this point, but I will get him soon, I think, if I can track him down. But that Wreck-Gar figure, man, whew, it's a good looking toy.
Keep looking at like, man, like they got everything right with it, like his mustache and goatee.
Yep,
it's great.
That's another aspect of this movie that I really like, is it introduces Transformer facial hair.
Yeah,
which was never on any of the robots before this movie. I love that. Scourge, one of Galvatron's buddies, has just a huge beard, and then Unicron's got a beard, and then Wreck-Gar's got a beard, and I'm like, yeah.
You know why? Because that's pretty cool.
Because beards are cool, man.
Yeah, robots with beards, man, that's great.
And I love that Galvatron even has like a little soul patch going on. Like he's got the little patch at the bottom of his chin.
But all right, I think with that, it's safe to say we could go ahead and wrap up here for the day.
I guess like the only other thing I'll add here is I did watch all of Transformers Kingdom, the new season of the Transformers cartoon on Netflix. The final season currently.
Oh yeah, that's out already, huh?
Yeah, it's out. And I watched it all, and it's okay.
Okay.
I think this newest season is a little bit more interesting than the second season, because season 2 just kind of had some stuff go on that I was like, why are we still in this part of the show? But the third season, Kingdom, has a good clip to it, and it doesn't overstay its welcome too much or anything like that.
Okay.
The voice acting is still not great. Still pretty rough stuff. I really like all the Beast Wars characters showing up again and like transforming and doing stuff. So that was pretty neat to see, like Optimus Primal and Cheetor and everybody show back up.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think my biggest thing is that they just didn't have good voice direction on this, and they didn't have a good script editor to be like, maybe we can cut some stuff out, or we can shorten some stuff, and we can put in more stuff that people would think is cool. I don't know. I would still recommend it. I still think it's a pretty fun show. The animation's still really good on it. Just be prepared to sit through some pretty slow dialogue in some of those scenes.
Well, right on, man. Let's go ahead and wrap up for today. Thank you guys for listening for the episode. And again, we'll be back soon for Suicide Squad and Marvel What If. Excited to hop into those and then coming back to talk about it for sure.
Yeah. I think we'll have some good talks about those. I'm so excited for Suicide Squad. Oh man, I've just been hearing from everyone that's seen it that it's just excellent. So I'm like, all right, there's got to be something to that.
Yeah, a lot of positive feedback is all I'm really hearing from it.
Yeah, nothing bad.
All right, while we wait for that episode to come out, Jake, where can we find you at?
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet at Corruption Cosplay with K's. I've been a little slow on the Instagram stuff. Don't really have a ton of new photos to post lately, but I did just do a Superman photo shoot in my Christopher Reeve outfit, so that stuff will be coming out soon. My photographer guy who helped me out with the shoot is currently editing the photos. If you want to check out his photography, please go to art.hero and you'll find his stuff. He's a really great photographer. He's just absolute magic behind a camera. So pretty excited to see what we've come up with once he's done editing and everything. It'll be fun. And of course, always check out Crimson Vision Studios. That's where we're doing those Power Rangers episodes. Episode 5 is currently in production for Shattered Past. We've got some awesome surprises happening coming up. Can't reveal too much yet, but it's going to be a good time. And I think that's about it on my end. Danny, where can they find you?
As always, you can find me at Negator7 anywhere you go on social media. And as well as the other podcast, Untitled Podcast, mainly do manga review stuff over there. And just taking a break from streaming, really. I'll be back soon. Just going through a slew of games that I've been meaning to touch on.
There you go. And then also you got some big stuff happening in the future.
Yeah, doing some things at the moment, so that's why I'm just like not really posting as much and all that stuff. But yeah, I'll get back in the groove and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and always look forward to our convention episodes, which will be returning definitely in December. We've got LA Comic-Con and Anime Pasadena both coming up that month. And I know there's been a...
Oh, is that coming up too?
Yeah, they're both going to be in December. I think they're a week apart, so I have to make a decision soon about what which one I want to go to fully. LA Comic-Con might end up being a shorter one, or vice versa. I don't know.
Right.
All I know is I got to meet my boy. I gotta go say hi to my boy, Zachary Levi.
Oh, of course.
Gotta go meet the boy. That's going to be at LA Comic-Con for anybody wondering. That will not be at Anime Pasadena. I wish he would be a guest at Anime Pasadena. That would be tight.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, that would be super, super rad. But for now, it is just at the other one. So look out in the future for that stuff, too. That's going to be a good time getting back into the convention scene, I think.
Right on, guys. As always, Marvel Talk Cast on Instagram to stay updated when these episodes drop. And then marveltalkpodcast@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments. We'd love to talk about it when those pop in. So thank you again, guys. And until next time.
All right. I got this one. I got our name, guys. You want to hear it? No, that's not the ending. No. That Fant4stic ending is so good. Fantastic. Yeah, I think I got it. You guys ready to hear it? No, it's so bad. No. I got the real ending. Till all are one.